Egg yolk, what's cracking with my people? Those who don't miss an episode, the Chico Army. But if you're new, you ain't part of the Army crew, you're just a viewer of the tube. My name's Tyler, and if you're my #1 fan, this content is about to blow through your roof.
Not.
Ah! Ah! He was a fan among fans. It's time for Chico Crypto. I'm sure you saw yesterday the bounce upwards, the bullish spike everyone likes to see, from the lows of 10,550 to, as of yesterday afternoon, above 10,900, right towards the middle of an important range. Expanding out the chart, you can see since the end of July, we have been between the 10K to 12K range, on the top of it and on the bottom of it, and now we are in the middle. This is actually a really good thing, as altcoins will really start to find discovery even if we go sideways, and then really take off if we break the top of the range 12K. Well, the same thing happened in the months prior, when we were in the 8K to 10K range. On May 15th, we were in the middle of the range, bounced towards the top, and then settled into the middle of this range, around 9K until July 20th. What happened to BTC dominance over the same time period? It dropped from above 69% and it just kept going down and down and down until it got to about 62%. So I foresee a similar thing going down in the middle of this range. I mean, if you look at the top 24-hour performing coins yesterday, it was altcoins having bigger bounces, with 42 altcoins performing better than BTC. Bitcoin was way down on the list. Alt. So today, let's dive into what I think could have the biggest bounces if things are going to be like before. So, what got altcoins moving throughout this year, 2020? Something called DeFi, or decentralized finance. And again, this will be the buzzword which gets altcoin interest bubbling again. But you gotta think of DeFi like Lego pieces. There are multiple distinct parts that are meant to fit together, enhancing each other to create the decentralized financial ecosystem. Per example, Maker is a governance protocol for a decentralized CDP-based stablecoin DAI. The two are distinct pieces that fit together, but you can also add things on top and to the side of this, like Compound, the borrowing and lending protocol, which uses some of the CDP infrastructure from DAI to create its lending market. And it gets even more mind-blowing what can be built when you add more pieces, like Uniswap, the decentralized token swapping protocol, MetaMask, the blockchain interface to DeFi, and more. Now, a decentralized stablecoin, decentralized and trustless lending and borrowing markets, interfaces, and swapping protocols are all critical DeFi Lego pieces. And there are others out there who can replace the ones shown, performing the functions of each and sometimes in different and better ways. That's the beauty of the composite structure of DeFi. Pieces can be added, replaced, or combined. So I want to speak on the next Lego pieces I see with Strides, and I've hinted on this in the past, as the next step into tokenization, NFTs, and scaling the Ethereum protocol so it can handle things like NFTs. Layer 2 solutions. So let's begin with NFTs. I'm sure when you think of non-fungible tokens, you think of digital art pieces, which yes is a big freaking market for NFTs right now. Although just like an art collector, you need to be in tune with the markets if you want to make money. You got to know who is doing the work, and will that artist be around and gain notoriety, creating a buying market for your piece. It's a tough market to be in, and a large majority of NFT art collectors, traders, and the like are going to lose some money and be holding a digital piece of art maybe forever. But it's possible through research to be a top collector. But who is a leader in this digital art space? Well, the digital art marketplace Rarible. They have a really big and blossoming art NFT space, which is nicely powered by their governance token mining. And if you go to OpenSea, Rarible has been the top volume week after week. But like I mentioned, just going to Rarible to buy NFTs you think look nice may be a losing strategy, as value is found from NFTs NFT artists who gain that fame or come from a celebrity type status, and you gotta do the research to find those out. But NFTs are not just limited to digital art, but they are also going to trade documents, bill of ladings, and more. What do I mean? Well, Swift, the global payment powerhouse, was at Sibos 2020 this year, which was fully digital. They presented on Monday with Louise Taylor Digby, head of strategy for Swift, Luca Castellani, secretary of United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, and Lo Sin Young, director of Trade Secretarial Transformation Group, and the IMDA. Now, let's listen to what Lo Sin Young had to say in his answer to a question from Louise, head of strategy for Swift, regarding trade digitization.
And Sin Young, in our final 90 seconds in closing, speaking from the perspective of a government who is on the brink of implementing this, how important is it for you that governments work together to accelerate trade digitization, and what's the call to action from your perspective?
We only have one call to action. We invite any interested party globally to walk the journey with us. And we have actually published our work under open source in TradeTrust.io and GitHub. So I encourage everyone to actually spend some time to look into what we have done, what we have built, and come and talk to us. And if you think that is of value to you, please take and use.
He said, check us out at TradeTrust.io and look into us. Well, that is exactly what we here at Chico are going to do. So, going to Trade Trust documentation, we can see that Trade Trust is a set of governance and legal frameworks, standards, and future-ready digital infrastructure, all of which facilitates the interoperability of electronic trade documents exchanged between different digital ecosystems. Then below, as we can see, it says the fingerprint of the signed Trade Trust file is then committed to a document store smart contract on the Ethereum blockchain, which serves as an immutable ledger. The big dogs are using Ethereum, but remember I said this connects right back to NFTs? How are they doing it? Well, let's just go to the token registry section. As we can see, documents are stored as ERC-721s, aka NFTs. And then diving into GitHub, we can see this major intergovernmental international trade finance product. Besides using Ethereum's ERC-721 standard, it's using MetaMask and Etherscan critical infrastructure tools. If you're hating on Ethereum and thinking others are going to beat them in the space, all I have to do is say this. If you ain't got 32 Ethereum, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems and a ghost chain ain't one. Speaking of ghosts, what about Aave Gotcha NFTs? This is one we got to bring up because it combines digital collectibles, what we spoke about, and DeFi, putting multiple Lego blocks together. So an Aave Gotcha is an NFT, which is backed with an interest-bearing Aave tokens from Aave, A tokens. So each created Gotcha has some inherent financial value and will increase in value over time. So stake tokens are behind the initial creation, and when you stake more, you get rare Aave Gotcha traits, and less of a stake, you get less rare traits upon creation. But here's where things get fun. When creating a Gotcha, you are assigned some random traits at birth. So those without much to stake still have a chance at rare traits. And guess who they are using to assign those random traits? Well, Chainlink with the VRF they built, the verifiable random function. Now, before we get into our next topic, Layer 2, it's time for a sponsored segment of this video being supported by the team over at Unilayer. And like always, the full details of our agreement can be found in the description. So Uniswap, it's the talk of the crypto town, but just like any protocol in Ethereum, it's a Lego piece that others can build on top of. And that is just what Unilayer has done, putting order books on top, charts and analytics, as well as a staking portal. Now, Unilayer is actually in beta right now, which means we can use it. So let's do like Chico does and dive right in. The beta demo link is in the description if you'd like to follow along. But just like the warning says when you get there, use at your own risk. Now, once we're in, you can see it looks exactly like an exchange. Pairs are to the left, the chart in the center, order history below, and the order book to the right for the chosen pair. So now, for each and every Uniswap pair, you can put in orders and have them filled if the price rises or drops automatically, as well as have all the charting tools at your full disposal all in one place. And putting in a buy or sell is familiar if you've used an exchange interface, and the transaction is fully confirmed through MetaMask and fully verified on Etherscan. Tools like these for the swap have been needed in the space for some time, and people have been asking for it, and now Unilayer is delivering. But that isn't all they are delivering. They're also putting out a marketplace for NFTs, which is in beta as well, but has listed Mutant Monsters, Bonk Token NFTs, Gods Unchained, and CryptoKitties. And then, just yesterday, they released their DEX aggregator. Going to that, it looks just like Uniswap, but this doesn't only source from the swap, but behind the scenes, also Xerox, Bancor, Dodo, Mooniswap, Oasis, Balancer, Curve, Kyber, Mstable, Shell, SushiSwap, and Swerve. So it can get you the lowest price, and it's live. Now, the last piece of Unilayer I would like to discuss is their staking portal, which, as we can see from the interface, it's coming soon. Layer staking with Unilayer takes a very unique approach with a model called flash staking. You stake your layer against an ERC20 token on the platform, and you are rewarded instantly with the full amount of that ERC20 for the stake period, instead of giving it out over the period of the stake. Your tokens are locked for the duration, and eventually your layer can be withdrawn, but the major benefit, you get to enjoy the rewards early on, and this will promote trading activity of ERC20s on the platform. So if you're interested in a professional trading tool built on top of Uniswap plus more, the demo is below, as well as the link to their Telegram group. Now, Layer 2, the topic I've been covering consistently over the past few months, since Ethereum fees rose to over $1, bubbling to ridiculous levels, but settling down, but they are still at unsustainable levels even after the dust has settled. $1 is still way too freaking much. Layer 2 is as needed as ever, because if another wave comes, a bigger one, Ethereum will become unusable. So, Ethereum Layer 2 scaling comes right down to three things. From Ethereum developer documentation, they say channels like a Lightning Network, and then just rollups and sidechains. So in the channel space, you have Raiden, who has a token, but I haven't seen much adoption. And then there is Connex too, but as we can see from DeFi Pulse, limited adoption with them too, and they don't have a token. And then we recently learned Arbitrum is coming with their own channels too, and rollups, which is good for Chainlink, but those are not released. So it's got to be in rollups or sidechains, but we learned, as we know, rollups aren't ready. So it's got to be a sidechain, a sister chain, or a child chain. And you are correct. This is a tech that is ready, live, and prepared to go. XDAI falls into the category as a sister chain. OMG Network falls into the category of child chain and Plasma. And finally, Matic Network falls into the category of sister side chain. Those are the three that are prepared and ready to go, and each of these submitted a proposal to the Reddit scaling competition. Like I've mentioned, out of these tokens who have submitted, these three are my choices for the likely winning contenders. Personally, I have more XDAI than OMG and finally Matic. Why is this? Well, it comes down to decentralization, politics, and bridges. So the most decentralized is actually the OMG network, as their Plasma chain validation network is decentralized and open to the public. But Plasma, as we know, is very limited to just token transfers. So I don't know how much OMG could fulfill all of Reddit's goals, but politics could sway a decision, as OMG is connected to the Ethereum Foundation. So the winner in reality should be the one who can support scaling of not only transfers but also smart contracts, and those are Matic and XDAI. Now they both are actually centralized. Matic has validators for its sidechain, but they were all chosen by Matic, so centralization. Although 3 days ago they did say they were moving into phase 3 and opening up validation to the public, which would make them decentralized. XDAI is similar, centralized, all chosen validators, but they will be releasing public POS-DAO here soon, and that will put them in the same decentralized boat. But the bridges is why I'm more bullish on XDAI. Their bridges are the ones being used more across the space. XDAI, of course, uses XDAI Bridge for the DAI to XDAI transfers, but also the Omni Bridge for all asset transfers. Matic bridges also allow for asset transfers, but complication comes in as users must request a specific asset to be added to the setup through a mapping request. None of that complication needs to happen with XDAI. And also, with Matic's most secure Plasma Bridge, the wait time is 7 days for withdrawals, although they have released a POS bridge, which provides faster transfers and withdrawals with much lower security guarantees. Both XDAI's bridges follow the same A and B structure, so the security should be the same for each. So you guys, I'm dipping my hands into each. Scaling is a critical piece of Ethereum, and those who contribute to it are going to succeed. Cheers, viewers. I'll see you next time.